Near the Wild with Matt Becker, John Norris, and Ggreg Chaille.
Hello.
Hey, John Norris.
Ggreg Chaille.
Aloha.
How do you say Merry Christmas in Hawaiian?
Mele Kalikimaka.
Yep. To you.
To you, too.
How's it going?
Is our friend Matt Becker around?
Not with me.
Okay. I just want to double check.
I'm sure he'll jump on.
Yeah? Okay. All right. I'm a little late dialing in, but I am on island time.
Oh. Ggreg, I'm in my typical recording booth.
Your mobile recording booth?
Yep. I'm renting it out now. I got some people that are gonna record some rap album in here.
Yeah, a couple freestyle rap artists from the high school.
Yep. Just a rapper and his entourage of 40 people. They're gonna be in my car recording.
Yeah, I mean, you depending on what neighborhood you hit, you might have to book out like a couple weeks in advance.
Oh, it's highly sought after.
Yeah. Can you get closer to the mic, John?
Yes, I can get pretty close to the mic.
That's better.
Am I close enough?
Yeah, that's better. Much better. I've got a very pared down equipment list today because I didn't pack until the last minute, and then I just grabbed what I could, and that happens to be no headphones. I'm using earbuds, which in recording anything where you want to hear it while it's happening, earbuds are probably the worst. They're probably the worst thing to use.
You're telling me those hard plastic nubs
yeah.
don't offer the audio fidelity you're used to?
No, they certainly don't. And also, they're the ones that I fall asleep to at night because I need to hear something and put it on a timer to turn off. So they've got thousands of hours of podcasting. Well,
through them already?
It's not the hours as much as it's the buildup of wax, because I don't know. I kind of went in and looked in to see what's going on, because after about let's say a month of using earbuds, I look inside that little silicone bushing there, and where the noise hole is on the device,
just completely clogged.
Well, there's a waxy film, and I'm like, wow, I wonder where that's coming from. Well, what's happening is the wax in your ear is constantly moving towards the outside.
Creeping.
So basically the explanation was if you took, now they didn't say to do this. They had scientists in a lab setting. They said if you put a dot in the middle of like your eardrum and like just stained that spot where the wax was, eventually that dot would migrate to the outside of your ear. That is constantly moving that, and what it is that wax is collecting debris that's in there. So what's happening is at night when I go to sleep with my trusty earbuds, I might only listen for 5-10 minutes, and then those earbuds stay in all night, and they're building up heat in the ear, and they're just basically they're helping get that dot from the center of my eardrum to the edge of my ear hole.
They're becoming a part of you.
Yes.
I wonder, when they grow like an ear on the back of like a lab mouse?
Yeah.
I wonder if those ears get waxy. Like
if they work like a regular ear, like if you yelled into that ear, would that person hear it?
No, I don't think it works. I know it doesn't I don't think it has an actual eardrum inside of it. Those ears, I think it's just like they just grow like the outside of the ear, like the cartilage and stuff. But like, does it get waxy? Does it? Because it's got to like still collect stuff.
Well, I think the wax might come from a spot inside the head somewhere, and not necessarily manufactured in the ear. We produce that off of base, if you will. We have a contractor that comes in and takes care of it.
Do you think there's just like a wax? Is there like just a wax generating thing inside the ear?
John, we're creating lots of different fluids and gooey things that we're not aware of. Now, I don't know if
the human body.
Yeah, I mean this might be the work of fairies or goblins or trolls. But there's a lot going on, and I don't know.
I never really thought about it, but I guess like I would have guessed that it was something to do with like sweat and gunk from like outside the atmosphere, like mixing in your ear and creating a wax. But I guess it makes sense that there's some sort of
like a wizard from the Middle Ages explanation of where wax comes from. Well, what happens is the sweat comes down and a fairy blows in your ear, and that creates the wax.
Yeah, obviously. Because I've heard people say that if you like work out a lot, you get waxy ears. They're like your ears are waxier. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if anybody's studying this. Somebody should be.
I've never heard that. I guess anytime you burn the candle at both ends, I mean, so to speak, with the wax. I guess if anything, your activity goes up. Maybe the wax production increases, John.
Maybe.
Because, like I said, when the heat from my ear being plugging up that ear hole with an earbud all night, that kind of makes a little ear oven, and that might be the same as working out. Just gets that heat up and kind of makes it more fluid, right?
Man,
we got to apply some science.
The human
here,
body.
We're not going to apply facts.
Gross.
We might as well apply at least cursory 7th grade science.
Yeah, no. What you're saying makes complete sense.
I think I may have told you this story before, but since we're scrambling without Becker, I had a girlfriend who was like one of these massage therapist types. Not one of them. She actually was a massage therapist, and she believed in a lot of.
Kind of like that.
I mean, when you go into a massage therapist,
she owned a table, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, she went to school for it and everything, and
right.
no quicker way to not get a massage than date a girl who's a massage therapist.
Yep.
So she was working out of this one joint that it was like the back of a hair salon or nail salon and stuff. And they had a little room back there, and then you go in and immediately it becomes Narnia. There's, like very spiritual, like a salt lamp, a Himalayan salt lamp, and crystals and tingly music and all this stuff. And one of the things that she air quotes believed in were these the ear candles. They call it candling.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a cone of like a thin cotton material that has been basically dipped in wax, and you put the pointy end into your ear, right into your ear hole. Hold your head sideways, and I mean, it'd probably be best if you were lying down, and then light the end of the candle. Have you ever done this?
Yeah, I've seen that before. I've seen it before, but I'm not sure like how it's supposed to work.
Well, if you just believe, John, just believe.
I thought this was like a serious like earwax removal technique and not just a Eastern mysticism.
Well, what's really
rite of passage.
What's really crazy is that someone who went to school to learn the mechanics of the body and how the muscles work and the structure of the body, the skeleton, and everything, and how there's all these pressure points and I mean, there's a lot of work involved in getting that massage therapy license, and yet just fall right into the candling trap, like so easy. It was like, what, did you do no investigation on this thing?
Greg, as somebody with a bunch of student loan debt, I can tell you, they will let just anybody go to college with a little bit of money in their pocket, and it takes all types. Anybody can go. Well,
John, I too have I've been privy to taking advantage of some of those offers from the state schooling systems.
Sure.
I also consider myself somewhat of a mystic, somewhat of a science nut, and a believer.
Wait, those are two different things. A mystic.
I know.
I'm
saying.
You're all those things.
I'm all of those things, John. But the one thing I am is logical. I really try and be logical. And we did this whole thing of like light thing, and I'm like, well, hold on. Shouldn't there be like some kind of catch-all in case flames come down from the end? I mean, the candling candle, the device, let's say, that it's about 7 or 8 inches long. And so you've got this almost a torch above your head. And you're like, well, what if something falls?
7 inches is not that long when it's fire next to your ear,
that's my point exactly, John. Why wouldn't, I mean, if I'm holding a candle, I mean, even at the candlelight vigils, they put a Dixie cup right above your hand. So if any wax comes down, it doesn't hit your hand. So we came up with a piece of paper so that it would just fall onto it. You know, even if a flame or match fell onto a piece of paper, it would slide off. It wouldn't catch immediately. So, so we got that, and then we did it, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. What happens is it burns down. It's supposed to, the action of the fire would be sucking the wax out of your ear. And when you pull that thing out of your ear, at the bottom where the point is that was in your ear, where there's a little hole there at the bottom.
Yeah.
There is an amount of what appears to be, and seems to be really easily believed to be earwax.
Like, the amount of earwax that you would get from the cone, is it equal to like a Q-tip or more than a Q-tip?
It is an amount that you should be skeptical when you see it. And it's also doesn't look exactly like what you would if you stuck a Q-tip in your ear, which you're not supposed to do.
I do it anyway. Everybody does it.
And that's probably that rule is probably perpetuated by the candling industry. The candling lobby has really got a hold.
big ear candle.
Yeah. Check one. You would just taste the candle wax or the candling residue there, and you would go, that's not earwax. But I opted for two. I basically took the other candling.
Microscope.
No. Took the other candling piece, lit it, and stuck the other end, instead of in my ear, I stuck it in my hand and let it burn down, and had the exact same residue at the base.
Oh, Greg, you know what this means? You have waxy hands.
Waxy fucking hands.
Gross.
So I went to the doctor, and they removed my my hand wax gland, and I'm fine. I drop things a lot more now. They slip right out. Yeah, it turns out she didn't like the idea that I investigated further than what she had already
How
deemed.
dare you, Greg?
Maybe this was maybe I ruined like this whole revenue stream. Like if she believed that these candles work, then maybe it's one of those things where if I believe it works, who's to say that what I believe isn't true as long as I don't investigate it any further?
Yeah, I don't feel bad selling this fucking peasant kid these magic beans because I think they are actually magic beans.
Who's to say? What's magic?
I'm not planting them myself, and I'm going to use the money to go buy some gin, but I believe they're magic.
Well, yeah, you could see those things at any health food store. Which now take a look at this. You look at what's on that rack where candling is, and then you ask someone there, how do these work? And then they'll tell you. They'll fucking tell you. And then you look around at all the other magic potions, pills, and powders in that fucking store, and you go, come on now. What's going on here? What is this? This is like some kind of like sorcery to separate you from your money in this place.
Right.
I mean, it's a good place to get nutritional yeast because they don't carry it at cars. But I'll tell you what.
Sure.
They're selling these fucking candle and the homeopathic stuff. Don't even get me started.
They don't have like Bob's Red Mill doesn't make nutritional yeast or something.
Oh, they might. You're right. That's a good point. We end up going all over the place looking for nutritional yeast. It's served out of a bin that's open to the air.
Yeah.
You're right.
The more you can avoid these health in quotation mark stores that just sell like pills that are 99.999% like just
cellulose
sugar
and sugar.
So yeah.
Candle wax.
And then like a little bit of like I don't know. What's a magic thing?
What do you mean? What, like a magic wand? A magic cape?
No, what?
A wizard's hat?
What's like ginkgoba or like?
Oh yeah.
Some sort of like Eastern herb that's supposed to like cure your leukemia.
Well, yeah, the ginseng is a lot of stuff, and it's like, well, no, the ginseng works because it's kind of a stimulant, but yeah, they ascribe lots of powers to a lot of things, John. And I'm not one to poo-poo everything. I like I said, I'm part mystic, I'm a believer. But I also want to think of myself as a little bit of a scientist, in that I want to investigate.
Sure. And I think a lot of it is just like the power of the mind to like, I don't know, convince yourself that you have something, and then when you take some pill that like, you know, makes you stop feeling that way.
Yeah.
You're like, obviously it works. But it is like kind of shocking how like little, oversight there is to like sell things to people that says they will do things like this will make you 4 inches taller if you take this pill for the rest of your life.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of places where they can do that as long as they don't frame it in a way that like they can trick you, but they can't trick you in a deceitful way. Does that make sense? They have to abide by a certain language that the law has determined. You can't say guaranteed, but you can say we're pretty sure this will make you taller.
Right. You can say like promotes height growth.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Promotes enhanced height.
And I got no problem with rubes being separated from their money. There's no problem with that. I mean, look at all the people that subscribe to our podcast on a weekly basis.
Suckers.
Becker hasn't popped in, so we'll just continue on because I'm already here drinking in the afternoon in Hawaii.
Sure. I'm already in my car.
You're already in your car. All right, now, are you driving around today, or are you just in one spot?
I'm in my I'm just in my driveway today to get away from my dogs.
Oh, good.
And then
I wondered where our co-hosts were.
Dude, I'm trying to train them to like not bark when you see me with a microphone, but it's not working. They get angrier.
Yeah.
They get rightfully so. They're trying to separate me from broadcasting anything. I get it.
Oh, I think it might be that they think you're eating something and not giving it to them.
Probably. I am supposed to go. I don't have nothing to do but meet Becky Becker in like an hour or so to get my haircut. So. Oh,
fantastic! We were driving to. We're on the west side of the island of Hawaii, referred to as the Big Island, and we got a car for the first week we're here. For the first week we're here, so I'm doing a lot of driving this week, and then the next couple of weeks we're just going to be chilling out in the Airbnb. So we were driving, and I see there's a little town just outside of here. We're heading to the east side, South Point, and then up to the east side of Hilo, and I see a little like 3 vintage clothing stores in this tiny little town that has like just basically a mercantile and a couple of stores on the side. And then these 3 vintage, and I go, oh, we'll pull over. And as we're walking across the street, I go, oh, there's a barbershop. I'm like, this is great. I'll get all this taken care of. And I walked in, and the lady was actually, it's a barbershop / florist. And I thought,
perfect.
Well, I go, is the hairstylist in? And she goes, that me. As she's working on flowers. And so then she just pulled a chair up, and I sat in this chair, and she cut my hair, but it was just clippers, just shaving the sides, and I felt an inch shorter. To call back to your taller pills, I need to find out where you get them, John, because I felt an inch shorter. She was pushing down on my head, like I think she was arranging a flower arrangement. I mean, I really, maybe she just was covering for someone, but she was manhandling me quite aggressively during the
I mean,
whole
how
haircut.
did it turn out at the end? Because that's
really
all that matters.
That's the thing. What the proof is in the pudding. She cut my hair, or she arranged my hair like a florist. It all worked out, but it was rough going there for a little bit of rough trade.
Well, those fucking the tulips don't mind, so you should shut up and just take the haircut.
Yeah. Flowers don't complain. Maybe that's it. They don't. She just doesn't get a lot of business. But it is great to you go.
And then she uses those same clippers to like cut the ends off the flowers when she's doing arrangements.
I don't recall her washing her hands going from the flower arrangement to shaving my head. But hey, man, you don't ask a lot of questions, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a small town.
Yeah, it surely is.
Was there anything good at these vintage stores?
Actually, yeah, there was. The one I went to, it turned out one of them was closed during the day, which is weird, but they were having a celebration that night. So she was getting ready for that night. But the one that I went into, the first one had a lot of cool stuff. And it really is one of those things out here, you know, you don't know what you're getting into. When you walk through the door, it could just be junk, or like just like more boutique-y than vintage.
Mm-hmm.
And boutique is just a way of saying add $10 to the price to me.
Right. We've got a bunch of $40 candles and one Hawaiian shirt for $180.
Yeah, and or out here, you go in the certain areas in town, and it's it's really trashy stuff. Really, was the dump full? Why didn't they take all this stuff?
It's an island, Greg.
I know.
Everything is repurposed.
I repurpose a lot of stuff, but I found a cool little bowl for stuff by the side of the bed, and I'm a bowl guy. I always like to put my keys, my wallet, my Swiss Army knife. When I get home, I put the stuff in the same place every time, and I know there's a lot of our lady listeners are going, why would you do that? You just throw things around. I tend to not lose my wallet and keys and stuff, and I think it's just a coincidence.
Ladies, the ladies do not understand the purpose of bowls. That's what I'm saying.
The bowl.
Everybody knows that.
The bowl is perfect because it's like a purse that doesn't close. I can look at the bowl and I see, look, there's everything I was looking for right there in one spot, kind of corralled into the center of that piece of wood.
Yeah.
Unlike a purse, where it's just a black hole that goes down, and you rummage and you make that sound like a bottle of water rolling in the back of a fucking van, back and forth every fucking turn you make. Yeah, you rummaging around down there, you don't find anything.
A lot of great things about women. You can all say big fans of women, but one thing about them drives you crazy. They don't know how to use a fucking bowl to save their lives.
Now, I thought this was the great things about bowls, but yeah, that is the great thing about women. Is that they don't know how to use bowls. John, if women realized the beauty of the tableside bowl, you realize that the price of bowls would skyrocket.
I know. Good. Thank God. I don't use a lot of bowls. I do have some bowls around, and I do keep stuff in them. But usually when they get full, I usually just move to another bowl. But I do, luckily I live in Alaska, and it's cold as fuck for 9 months.
Yeah.
So I wear the same jacket every day, and everything important to me just goes in that jacket.
Yeah.
That way I don't forget stuff when I leave the house in the morning. But then, summer...
That can bog you down, though.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's a big coat anyway.
Yeah.
But then summer rolls around, and it's not giant parka weather anymore, and I'm all over the place.
Oh, now you're fucked. Now you need a windbreaker or something, but then that's really bulky, and that doesn't look good either. That's not a good look.
And apparently cargo shorts aren't cool anymore, so I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I wear sport coats quite a bit. I'm very fond of them. I've got a lot. And the one thing I realized is this guy that is now promoting a lot, maybe because of the Christmas season, this Scotty vest guy. He's got this vest that has all these pockets and shit. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah.
He sells them online.
I think
if you look
I saw an ad for one.
Yeah, Scotty vest. And it was
one of those ads, why the fuck am I seeing this?
Well, it's one of those ads like the as seen on TV thing where the person is like, ever have this happen to you? They have they don't even know how to work a spatula. Stuff flies all over and it's like,
It's black and white footage of me carrying everything I own in my arms.
And then a big X from a game show X, bang, wrong way. Well, this guy, he's walking on the street and he's going to grab something out of his pocket or something, and it's the earbuds untangle and the pliers fall out and his passport and all this, and it's just completely over exaggerated as the mirror image of him walking down with this silly vest. But it is one of those things where that really is just the idea of putting pockets on the inside of the coat rather than on the outside, which has already been done. He's just making a lot of different smaller compartments all over. It's almost like a magician. It's like a magician's vest. It's like
if he markets these vests towards radicals because perfect for bombs.
Oh yeah, you probably get one.
Saying. Scotty vest.
Scotty vest.
They should put me on the marketing team because I'm seeing the markets they're missing.
Well, John, sometimes Bob's Big Boy is called Bob's Big Boy, in Southern California, but if you head east, all of a sudden you see Mark's Big Boy. You see, like,
What?
they have different names,
Really?
so maybe they market the Scotty vest as the boom vest in the Middle East.
The infidel killer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the Scotty vest, but like way dumber, I think. I saw an ad, cause I was looking at like knives, I think, on Amazon. So I was getting a bunch of like everyday carry ads on Facebook and everywhere. And one of the ads I saw was for the what was it called? It was called the Jug Buddy. And it's for those workout dudes who carry the gallon of water around everywhere they go.
To each station.
It's literally a Scotty vest for your jug of water. It's one of those things that's like, well, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I'm sure this guy is on a yacht somewhere laughing.
So, it's like a camelback? Like those water carrying devices that the bikers and joggers wear?
No, you don't know. You still have to carry the jug, but
Mhm.
it's literally a vest that goes around the jug. And then your water jug has pockets.
Oh,
So you
all right.
So you're like, I'm gonna put my pens with my water jug and my phone in this other pocket and my Leatherman with this other pocket. It's I'll try to find the link
No,
and send it to you.
you said Jug Buddy. I'll be able to find
Yeah,
it.
I think it's called the Jug Buddy.
It's like a fanny pack for your jug of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's convenient. In case your jug of water wants to write down a chick's number at the gym.
It just seems, and it looks very like tactical. It's like your milk jug got selected to be on the SWAT team.
I don't know, man. He used to come out and hang out with us a lot. Now,
Yeah, he's just
way too serious.
Kidnappers the other day.
You know, I did buy. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Well, they took advantage of me. I wanted to get one of these tack lights that you see advertised every once in a while. You see them on TV, okay? But it's like Tech One or Mach Tech or whatever. You don't know which one is which, but you see they've got the light. It's still shining. It's encased in the ice. They drop it in boiling water and all that.
Those like bright ass lights.
Yeah. And I go, well, when you were out in Bisbee, you weren't there very long, but we go out and we'll get a head of steam at like 10 or 11 at night, and we'll go driving around the gully there on our street, Black Knob, where Becker and I live. And
it's a giant moat.
It's a big ditch, yeah, a big moat with no castle.
It's not even like, I think, because I feel like when you say ditch, I imagine like a gradual dip on the side of the road.
No.
It's literally like,
it is a moat. You're right.
It's a moat. You just step in and you would fall like 7 feet.
Well, no, you would have to go. You'd have to go in a very scary, from our place, you'd have to go a very scary walk briskly through the bramble if you fell into there 3 blocks one way and maybe 5 blocks the other just to get out. There's no ladder to get out of the moat. Yeah. But that was built back by the WPA back in the post depression time.
I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah. But what we'll do is, sometimes we have coyotes and pigs and all sorts of stuff that comes in at the end of that it goes out into the desert, and, it's not as built up at the end where the desert is. So things get down in there and they use that as a little highway. No one else is going in there, but we'll use those tack lights. We've got, the little LED lights you get from Ace Hardware or something, Home Depot. Mm-hmm. But, I got one of those tack lights. And I went to buy it, and they had like this weird. It's like, hey, get if you buy 3, it go down to $20 a piece or something like that. And somehow I got it. I ended up buying 5, and it was like $140. and I go and I call them. And I go, hey, look, I just made this order. Could you? And they go, we'll call you back. We'll call you back. Never got a call back. Whatever. Then I got these lights like 7 days later, and I got 5 of them. They're fucking great. They are so bright, and you can pull back on the lens, and it goes really wide, and it really looks like the picture in the thing. I wish I could tell you what brand it is. I don't, like I said, it's all interchangeable. But
random Chinese flashlight.
I guess, I don't know. Everything's made in China, John. What are we going to stop now?
Are they small? Like,
yeah, it's a tack light that you could like put. It's not the small little like lipstick ones that you buy at the point of sale, walking out of the checkout at Walmart or something. I mean, this thing, it is fucking bright, and it's all LED, and I really like it. I mean, I wish I could have gotten them to take 2 of them back. I don't think I need 5 of them, but it ends up it's a pretty good light. Pretty good light. You should just
wire them all together and tape them across the hood of the car, and then you have like 5 lights coming at you.
It'd be brighter than any headlight. That would. I'm not even kidding, John. These things are fucking bright.
I like the flashlight technology has like come so far, but I still like. I miss those old mag lights that the cops would carry.
Oh yeah.
And it was like
all the ones that hit you with.
Yeah, exactly. They have like 20D batteries in them.
Oh yeah.
So they might not be that bright, but
the cop or the flashlight? Who's buying D batteries?
That's why it was called assault and battery.
Yeah, those were machined out of aluminum, I think. Those are really good lights for other than lighting the situation. They're really good for beating the shit out of someone, that's for sure. Or
I think you just described RoboCop.
But they only lit like 5 feet in front of you.
Yeah, it turns out the worst part of that flashlight was the light part.
But I mean, when you're swinging it at a perp, it doesn't matter if you can see him or not.
No.
Well, they were long enough you could stand them on end, stand on it, and see in a window. They were for peeping toms, is what they were for.
But they're probably too big. Do they still make those? I haven't seen one.
Oh yeah, they still make them. I mean, this LED technology is taking hold. I mean, battery life is much longer with the LEDs.
They sell an LED replacement bulb for those.
Smart.
Yeah, but it's like $11. And you're like, well, between that and the 19 Tesla batteries I need.
Yeah.
So Becker, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You had a little getting a little work done at the house there? You had to turn the power off?
Yeah, we had to shut it off because we were doing a thing on the water heater. So we had to cut there was an old brass fitting that turns on and off the gas. And they're illegal now because they just have an O-ring in them or some fucked up thing. Anyway, it's worked since 52, but all of a sudden now it's a problem.
Yeah, because you touched it.
I had to get some kid to come in and cut the pipe off and fix it and put a new one in. And he was just grunting and but you got the power off so you can't have music. I was like, so he's just in there working and it's like so annoying. I was like, can you hold it down?
Why was he grunting? Was he pulling it off?
No, he was taking a fucking 1952 pipe and trying to twist it off where he could put a new one on. It was a lot more work than I thought. I was just going to have Tracy make a doily we could hang over it so they wouldn't see it.
Yeah, the problem working with the older stuff, you'll find out, Becker, when you get to Bisbee when you're there more times of the year. You got to be real gentle with just about everything because if you break it, all of a sudden you got to figure out where to turn off the water or where the electricity, how to circumvent flooding out your basement because you tried to just replace, why is that dripping? The other thing is if you go to try and fix something, they might not make that part anymore. There's nothing to say that that's even available. They might have to, the windows on our place to get them replaced. Windows now are cheaper because they've got kind of a uniform size that goes in, or you buy them to a certain standard. Our windows are all 3 different windows, 3 different sizes right across the front of the house. So they just kind of figured out how big the hole was, and then they just filled it in with a window, depending on.
So they found the window first, and then they were like, how big's that hole gotta be?
Exactly.
Well, that was on Black Knob. They put new windows in that house, and they had taken out the really high ones, and they put in what was available at the time, the standard. So
yeah.
We were kind of laughing, going, we could really put the big windows back in. You can see the seam where they were.
Yeah.
So they were like, 9 feet high instead of 6.
Well, we didn't freeze in Bisbee like we thought we were, but your heaters work great.
Yeah, thank you. You're the one who suggested those brilliant things.
They are. I mean, it's a standing heater that plugs into the wall, and it uses oil. It heats up the oil inside, and it just once that gets the temperature, I mean, it really is. It's fucking great, and it's very safe. We just stayed at a hotel next to the airport in Tucson right before we left, and it was blowing cold air. And called the front desk, and they were very aware of it, but they didn't say they were aware of it. Are you sure? Are you sure you're doing it? Well, you know, I'm pretty sure I know what cold air feels like. And it's been running. It's been running for a while. I mean, I'm very okay with you sending someone up here. It's not like we got a meth lab going. Send someone up and have him put his hand in front of this fucking ice blower, and then we'll start where we're at now later. And he said,
we're gonna get Jeff. He lived in Canada for a couple months. He knows cold.
So it's at 85. That's what the thing is. It's 7:00 at night, and he calls me back, and he's being very nice. But I also noticed that on his badge it said like supervisor. And so the supervisor tells me, he's like, yeah, this is really odd, but our technician, our engineer said that we don't switch to heat until 9 p.m. So if you wait for 2 hours and then turn it on, then you should get hot air. And I thought, come on.
I'm getting hot air right now.
I'm getting hot air right now. At 9 o'clock, you decide it's time for the guests to be warm? Are you fucking kidding me?
4 hours after the sunset.
So I waited, and we were waiting until like 11 o'clock for Doug to come in anyway. So I'm up working on some computer stuff. I'm in the front room. Tracy, I got her the extra blankets from the cupboard. I mean, she's just
the lobby.
It's fucking crazy. And I go, well, let's just play this game. I want to see how far this goes. So then at 9 o'clock, I fucking turn it on, crank it up to 85 like it was before, and it's still going. It's still blowing. And by the way, I should have said this first. There's a notice that's typed out that's stuck above the thermostat basically saying, we're aware there's a problem, but we're going to try to blame it on you or the system before we do anything about it. Because at the end it says, or if you'd like, we'll send up some heaters. Guess what kind of heaters they didn't send us? Those fucking efficient ones that heat up the oil that are completely safe. They sent us
the glowing wire heaters?
The glowing wire heaters.
Yes.
Popcorn on those. That's great.
God. And
you can
he continued to maintain that, like, this is really weird. I've never heard this. It's like bull fucking shit, because there's a sign on the wall that says you're aware of this, that says you're going to bring me heaters. And they brought the glowing ones, and one of them was broken. The knob was busted in the front.
They just have a closet full of these little portable heaters. First I've heard of this problem.
And those are the ones and I didn't even say this. The number one thing about those oil heaters, I'll put a link in the show notes because they are fucking awesome. One of the greatest things about those is that it might make a click when the thermostat is engaged, but other than that, they're completely silent. The glowing ones where you can cook popcorn on, like you said, Becker, there's a fan and glowing wires. They used to have them in bathrooms. Remember, mounted on the wall?
You could actually build one with a toaster and a fan.
Exactly. Oh, that's
so you
right.
have to keep holding that thing down.
That's what they should have said. We'll give you a loaf of bread. Just keep making toast. That'll warm up the room.
It would smell amazing.
Oh, it would be great. Do you have any cinnamon?
What are those, Becker, what are those heaters they have at Costco that you always walk by? It's like 105 degrees in like a 1 foot area.
Oh, I have one of those. Those are the
Is that the propane?
No, the infrared.
The fuck is that?
Those are pretty amazing.
Yeah, the infrared. And I got one for the bus. That was originally what I was going to do for the bus. And then I realized that you have to be right in front of it, though.
Yeah.
So
it's literally in like a one by one square, like right in front of this heater. But it is amazing in that 1 foot square.
So for like ticket takers at the front of Disneyland, perfect for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely directional. I mean, I took it outside and was burning holes in snowbank with it. But hey, I went to go see the new Star Wars with Tracy.
She's a huge fan.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that this is after 7. I don't know how the numbering's all fucking cattywampus. But, we ended up chickening out because we went to get, they have a kiosk out in front of, basically a robot selling you tickets right in front of the ticket person selling you tickets, which is, that's gotta suck. I mean, how long until you're gone? So, but it said filling up and we're like, fuck, it's Monday. How are all these people? School's not even out here yet. And, school's still in. So I didn't know what was going on, but fuck, Island Style. Maybe they don't fucking care. It's a 7:00 show. So we chickened out and went to Thor Ragnarok instead. So
you didn't go to Coco?
No.
Why wouldn't you go to Coco?
No. Ragnarok was actually pretty funny as far as
yeah, Ragnarok was good.
Oh, you did see it?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny. I was not expecting it, and that kept me, who's not into comic books, entertained quite a bit. So, but I haven't seen the new Star Wars. Have you guys?
I saw it on Monday.
So
it was. I mean, I liked it. I don't know.
I've just been reading the reviews of why I won't like it.
That's what I'm trying to stay away from.
I feel I didn't read any reviews either, and then like after I saw it, I was talking to this guy at my work who's a big Star Wars nerd. He was talking about how he hated it and everybody he knows hated it. I don't understand.
So 7 people.
Yeah.
That's the problem they're having right now.
7 out of 7. I don't understand. I think I don't know. I think maybe it was just like the first good Star Wars and everybody is like, well, this isn't Star Wars.
You think it might be some of the Carrie Fisher backlash?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe. What, are they mad that she's dead?
I think some of people were kind of ticked that they were thinking of. I mean, they filmed that when she was still alive, but I think that some of it might be them feeling bad that she's gone, or that they were coming out maybe prematurely talking about how they would handle it in the next one or something with it. Yeah, I don't know how they handled it in this one. So
I was looking real closely, and you can't. I mean, if they did use like a CG version of her, you can't really tell. At least I couldn't.
I think they did all principal shooting while she was still alive. They were well into post production when she died on that plane.
Well, they're getting it now. Where
she died on a plane?
Well, she had complications on a plane. Worse than snakes. Isn't that how she died, Becker? Was she on a plane?
Drug overdose.
But I mean, it was complications from what was in her system. But
maybe she took drugs to fly. But it was a drug overdose. They don't like to talk about that. But
I thought it was on a plane. Maybe I'm making that up.
Those buns were full of cocaine.
I didn't know that she was a writer. She punched up scripts in Hollywood. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Morgan Murphy was telling us about that. Yeah, I had no idea any of that. I mean, I know she did Postcards from the Edge, but that was off her book, right? Am I making that up too?
No, that's correct.
Postcards from the Edge.
Yeah.
Apparently she wrote a bunch of stuff in this latest Star Wars movie too.
They went to her to punch up the script of Star Wars?
Yeah, if it sucks, they're just blaming her now. Carrie Fisher did that part. Sorry.
What, the carnival scene with the hammer and the bell? What? The midway?
Bing! I just saw there's a new trailer out for Ocean's 8.
No. Come on.
Yeah. You know, like the Ocean's 11 movie? But this one's all women now. And I've already had multiple conversations with people about how like, they're just upset that they're taking these classic movies
and ruining them like Ghostbusters?
Putting women in them.
It'll be called Ghostbustering.
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why people get mad about remakes and when people change things in movies, because it doesn't it's not like they go to Netflix and get rid of the old Ghostbusters. Like, it's still there.
There's a small group, I think they're lesbian army. They think they're going to take over Hollywood and everything we watch. And I think they're in for a world of hurt because, quite frankly, these movies don't do well.
Or like Ghostbusters, they did bad before they were even released because of the controversy. And
Subaru isn't going to advertise more than they already do.
Yeah.
So who's your market?
The thing with the I can't really address the female thing because I mean who the fuck cares?
You're not female?
Well, if a movie's good, a movie's good. I don't care.
Exactly.
My problem is like Ghostbusters was one of those fucking really good 80s movies that I don't think you needed to do another version. Now, should you not do it? No, of course you're going to do it because fucking Hollywood is vapid and they fucking just follow the suits and they can't think of something new, so they want to do something old and try and do it again. And then some of them hit, some of them don't. Gotta tell you, I really did not like the fact that Tim Burton and Mr. Depp did a remake of Willy Wonka.
Oh, that was on the other day. I turned it on. I forgot how horrible it was.
Well, it's like it's not even that it's look, the movie itself.
It's horrible. No, don't forget. Turn it on.
No, I haven't. I've watched a little bit of it, but at the same time, I was like, I really celebrate Gene Wilder, and in that movie was so fucking good. That was a great fucking movie.
Yeah. Well, so the thing is the new one really that bad, or is it bad compared to the old one?
No, it's really that bad. He stands there with fake teeth, smiling, going, I get it. I'm reading my next line. Okay. And I go, I sat there watching it going, this is really bad. I never thought it was that bad.
I think what they did was they used a little bit more of the book of the glass elevator or whatever.
And everybody knows books suck. They don't base things on books.
Well, I mean, that was what it was.
The Bible, for one.
The Bible. Yeah, they should recast Jesus, use Johnny Depp with those teeth as Jesus.
I don't know. But it's weird to me that movies like the Ghostbusters reboot with all women, like, that stuff like that fails when, like, it seems like...
Because it was horrible, John.
I fell asleep. I didn't watch the whole thing, so it wasn't great. But it seems like from a marketing standpoint, the plan would work because, like, you're just taking a thing that is already popular and aiming it at the other half of the population. So it's really, I bet, like, there's a lot of, like, head scratching when shit like that doesn't work and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It all looked good on paper.
That's why Tinder works so well. Because the half want to just see the half.
Well, I think you just can't throw a franchise like Ghostbusters worked because of the time and the stars that were in it. And then what they did was they just got a bunch of hot female stars, like hot meaning their careers, and they put them in a franchise that had already been established. That doesn't mean that women want to see Ghostbusters. They just put women in a franchise that was successful.
Right.
What we're not really talking about is the remake factor. They're just remaking everything. Look at Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is coming out to rave reviews.
Wait, they remade Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
No, it's called the Matt Damon movie coming out called Great Game. I get it. Well, you've already done all the gags. I saw it.
Yeah. I guarantee you that the trailer for that is super long because the longer the trailer, my theory is the longer the trailer, the suckier the movie. Like you will see, like you said, Becker, you will see all the gags in the commercial and the marketing that are funny or that work in the trailer or the marketing commercials.
They drink out of a regular bottle of Sky vodka, but it's huge to them.
Yeah, no, that's absolute. If they're going to be a brand name, yeah.
There we go. Branding.
It's absolute. But here's the beauty of the thing.
I would have gone with Svedka.
In the old days when Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, they showed where they had to make all the props really big and they'd run around on them like a huge chair and all this other shit. Now it's all just CGI, so they don't have to make anything. They just shrink it.
Yeah.
And I go, well, that's not really fair.
I know. Rick Moranis doesn't get his due. And he just lives on a farm somewhere not bothering anybody.
He doesn't do shit anymore. He just said, fuck it.
He retired from acting.
Yeah.
And he should. What's he going to do? Do a remake of a Rick Moranis movie?
Well, I thought it was really weird because Ghostbusters 2 was on the other night. And I'm like, whoa. It was like the last half hour. So I'm like, Bill Murray came back to do a sequel? What the fuck? That must have been a lot of dough. I mean, Bill Murray doesn't do things for dough, so it's like, it's really weird.
Yes, he does.
Well,
that's why there's a female version of Ghostbusters, because he refused to come back for another one.
Well, I don't think 2 was that great anyway.
Nah.
No, I mean, stop remaking things.
Good.
Make new movies. Can't you make something new?
Yeah.
I mean, it
People
seems
don't want to go to new things.
Yeah, see that? Don't expose yourself to new things.
Nah.
We want comfortable. We want comfort zone. We want to see the characters that we already have the old T-shirts.
That's why newspapers are failing all across the country.
There's a bunch of great independent movies. There's a bunch of great independent movies I've been meaning to see, but I definitely made time to go watch Star Wars and Thor. But those independent movies are just going to be on my list for another 6 months.
So give me your short list of independent movies. Just 2 or 3.
I've been meaning to see Lady Bird. Supposed to be amazing.
Yep.
Yes, we're going to go see that on Christmas.
I have not seen The Big Sick yet, the Kumail movie.
Oh, that's all over on cable and pay-per-view now. So.
Yeah. It's even like all I got to do is press a button and sit on my couch, and I still don't make time.
Too much work.
And then did you watch Get Out?
No.
You need to watch Get Out, Greg. It's amazing.
What did you tell me about that in the past? I just forgot to write it down.
Maybe it's the Jordan Peele one, the guy from Key and Peele.
Not really a fan.
You should. It's not a comedy though. It's a straight horror movie, and it's pretty good.
It's called Get Out.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's on HBO, the HBO app now. If you have access to such a thing.
I might. I have a way to get access to such a thing.
That's my short list.
All right.
One that's great, and 2 things I should watch eventually.
Becker, do you have it? You said you're going to go see.
Watch the Ocean's 8.
So is Ocean's 8 a prequel?
I don't know. Apparently Sandra Bullock is playing George Clooney's sister, who also robs things, and she has a group.
Oh my God.
But it's Ocean's
Is Ricky
8.
Schroeder in it?
It's Ocean's 8, so it came before Ocean's 11. So that's what I'm saying, the prequel. And then they go, well, we think this is we have a 3 or 4 movie arc with this one, so we'll go to 8, so we can work up to 11.
Maybe is 8 77% of 11, and that's women get paid less.
Yeah, is it discounted because it's all girls?
Hey, girls can rob banks and cut off heads. I mean, come on.
Sure.
Only if they're with a man.
A man made him do
Bonnie
it.
and Clyde.
What's that Jimmy Fallon movie where he drives he's like a cop? What's that Queen Latifah Jimmy Fallon movie?
What?
I think they robbed banks in that.
Jimmy Fallon's a movie star?
He's not a movie star, but he was in some movies that were all bad. He was in a movie called Taxi that's a remake of like a French action movie. And I think they like took all the action out of it and just let Jimmy Fallon do stuff.
They could have done it in French. It would have been the same outcome.
So it's like Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Exactly. It's exactly like that.
Judge That's another one. That's a franchise thing where you go, wow, because Eddie Murphy looks at the camera and does his laugh and goes, ha ha ha. Like he can't even fake it. He's like, ha 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 ha. I got paid for this.
Oh, I did see the other day. I mean, part of Christmas time is all the movies that they play because they know everyone's home. Coming to America. Now that fucking movie was amazing. It was
great movie.
Every part of it. It just seemed like it was a time when those movies were really well written, and I know there was some controversy about who wrote it and the concept.
Yeah, because it was what's his name, the grumpy guy from 60 Minutes.
Harry Reisner. Morley Safer?
No, the grumpy guy. No, the guy who did the reviews. What was his name? He looked like the sports announcer guy. Andy Rooney wrote it.
Andy Rooney wrote Coming to America?
He wrote Coming to America. They tried to rip him off, and he fucking won. Hands down, they won. He go, here, write me a check for $150 million. They went, okay.
Now you write this for me.
I forget what it was. But he had him. It was like, how can you say this isn't my plot?
I love it. That's why then he went right into fucking 60 Minutes brass and said, fuck you. And just fucking laughed.
Yeah.
You know what I hate? Coming into work every day.
What's his name? The guy from Midnight Express.
John Voight?
No, the angry guy.
Wait, that wasn't Midnight Express. Was John?
Midnight Express was with where's the accountant?
Oh, Charles Grodin.
Charles Grodin came on to replace Andy Rooney, and he was a perfect snarly bastard. Why do we have to pay more for electricity? Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone doing the...
Not Midnight Express, Midnight Run.
Midnight Run.
Midnight Run, yeah.
What's
Midnight Express different?
Yeah, it was. They don't have that segment on 60 Minutes anymore, right?
They barely have 60. Yeah.
I mean, 60 Minutes is still just a news program, but they stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I always thought it should be they should young it up a little bit, so to speak, and put like Adam Carolla in there or something because he complains.
Ooh,
about
did you ever see how they
young it up by 30 years, but still have Adam Carolla.
You know how they shove down our throat like, oh, like Tonight Show versus the other show versus Letterman and how the ratings were always this. Do you know who beat them almost 2-1 every week and they never brought it up because it wasn't the same genre?
This is for the late shows?
Right, Nightline. Oh. Nightline beat them. They said they had the market share of that entire time.
Wow.
Day and age. They said you could find most times and they wouldn't compete with their numbers.
This day and age, nothing's funnier than the fucking truth right now. So I guess Nightline would. What is Nightline? Is that a package show like 60 Minutes?
It's like a news magazine show.
It was. This is now you're thinking probably Dateline, but Nightline was the one where they'd come on, but they do current events like basically all during Iran-Contra they covered that, and they would have guests on that wouldn't do other shows because he was pretty fair, and it was I think it was an hour, and
what
it would come on.
Was Nightline on?
It was on the opposite of, let's see, so it must have been ABC?
ABC or NBC because CBS was 60 Minutes.
Yeah, because they didn't have it was the Tonight Show versus Letterman, so whatever those two channels. The third channel was.
Wow.
ABC, yeah.
And they beat them every time. I said, I would just advertise that. No one cares about your jokes. Dateline.
Hey, I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you? It was in the Daily News, the Anchorage Daily News today. Well, you probably didn't because
we don't get that.
Because I'm in Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii, so I get your news more readily available to me than you guys do. So
yeah, but you get our crazies.
Yeah.
I checked out the headlines.
Did you guys see that the guy who came up with a solution? He's actually out of Tacoma, Washington. Came up with a solution for these porch pirates that are going around stealing people's packages off their front porches.
Poop? You mean a better solution than just letting Amazon walk into your house whenever they want?
No, he's in Tacoma, and he would he was buying like Jeep parts or something, and so there'd be these bunch of boxes out in front of his house, and he put in a camera, and he had proof that the people were coming up and taking his boxes, and the cops, there's nothing they could really do. So he took a blank shotgun shell and rigged it into a box, kind of like Wile E. Coyote, and set it up so that when they came up, and this is all videotaped, when they came up and grabbed the box, this shell would go off, and it was just bam, and the clips are awesome. If you go to, it's called The Blank Box. They have a website
and
now.
It's probably a felony in Alaska.
Well, the thing is that they're saying the reporter reporting on this said that they checked to see if there were any outstanding anything in the courts with this guy's last name, and there's not, because I think that they're like, no one's getting shot, but they're not sure it's this side of legal.
There's laws you aren't allowed to booby trap.
Well, what's happened now? He's got this. He's got a YouTube site or channel. So I'll put the links in the show notes. But he basically has rigged this thing so that it really is a booby trap, but one that's completely self-contained. There's never going to be any kind of a shot. There's no gun being fired. So it's a little device.
His idea is to go through enough shells to scare everyone who's ever stolen a package.
Exactly.
I mean, the guy's going to be $30 into shells before.
Well, I think it's really one of those things where does it
keep them off the porch? I mean, is that their idea, that you'll keep people from going on your porch?
That's the thing, is that you've already got someone. One of his older clips has no fence around his yard. Then a later clip has a fence around his yard, and then these people are still coming in his yard, and that's a fucking problem. But they're able to get to him, and what he's doing is he's trying to just get the one or two people that are brave enough to do this. But he's got different guys, and the fucking clips are very funny because
I think he's denying he should move to a better neighborhood.
Maybe he should invent a taller gate
or a lock on the gate.
Yeah.
That just feels like it's a good way to get like all your windows shot out. Like in the wrong neighborhood, people hear gunshots, they're just going to start firing at the house.
No, they're going to shoot. He's going to get
now
shot.
You have your toilet nightlight, but all your windows are blown out.
Somebody's going to shoot him at his door, and they'll be like, oh, I thought it was just his box banger again.
he's laying there for a month. The dogs are eating his face.
And yet people come up, take his shoes.
Well, I like anything. I like anything anyone does that tries to get these motherfuckers who are stealing packages off doors.
Yeah, like look what the Palin family's willing to do.
Jesus Christ.
They're willing to point a gun at you through a window.
I don't know what was going on with that. I saw the that
just more
track.
Palin family values, just their family values coming to roost.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I love that track Palin called the officers peasants.
Yeah, and the fact his dad was too much of a pussy to shoot him. It was like he wanted him to shoot him. He goes, "No, I won't shoot my son." I go, "Then he'll beat the shit out of you."
So it was between him and his son?
Yeah. No, everyone thinks it's like some girl related.
Yeah.
No, he came over to get a car, which I didn't understand. He wanted to come over and borrow the truck, but he drove over there. So he had a vehicle. So now I'm thinking I'm kind of favoring the parents on this one.
Maybe he's moving a couch.
Yeah.
But he points a gun at him through the window, telling him to go away. And the kids, I mean, you sent him to the military because he beat up his girlfriends in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, he's violent. Don't blame PTSD when he did it before he went in.
Yeah. You
piece of shit. And
he had an adverse reaction to some medication.
Yeah, called opiates. We've had a lot of that. We usually don't know their names as well because they're not actually on the bottle they're holding.
Wait, is that one of the kids' names? Opiates? I don't follow.
No.
Palins.
No, this is track. And if you check his arm, I'm sure there's tracks.
Oh my God! Just stay out of the news. That's the warning the parents give to the kids. Just stay out of the news. That's your mom's deal.
Was this in Alaska or was it somewhere else?
Yo, it was in Alaska. That's what I'm telling you. Wasilla police had to come and fix it. And Sarah was hiding in her car calling 911.
Oh, Jesus.
But, at least she got that tax break.
The world.
That's, Alaska's
first family.
That family, you just gotta go, hey, you reap what you sow. When you're calling cops peasants because you're all drugged up, beating up your dad. Yeah. It's that upbringing.
I mean,
where's your on and off again pregnant daughter? Where's she at? Hope the retard wasn't at home.
Oh, little opiate. You're not going to have to see this trouble. We're going to get out of here someday, little opiate, me and you.
They always talk about how close Hitler was to controlling the entire world, but they don't talk enough about how close Sarah Palin was to being the vice president of the United States.
She was within a heartbeat. She just couldn't shut up.
Well, think about it. She could have been president pretty easy.
No.
Right
all
now,
she had to do is shut up.
McCain,
it was a 6-month period.
McCain the stress might have made us fucking noodle pop earlier.
Yeah.
He should have had his head examined a long time ago.
His campaign manager should have had his head examined. Jesus.
Oh my God. But the best part was, because look at what Pence did. You could learn from Pence.
Yeah.
In this particular case, the top of the ticket was crazy, and Pence just sat there smiling.
Yeah.
Everyone's going, how can you be with this guy? And he's like, just shut up. Just shut up. Just wait it out. I'm going to be president. We're all going to say Merry Christmas, even if you're a Jew.
He's so fucking religious right that it's crazy.
He's one of the ones that put in one of those bills that said you had to get a funeral if you had an abortion. You had to pay for a funeral.
So a guy that right, how does he fucking stay with it?
How about the 7 words? I'm telling you, this is how they're breaking us down now. The 7 words you can't say from the CDC was a fake news story. And people are still quoting it. And I go, this is how you lose a society, people. The police aren't real. They're just people in costumes. Shoot at them. I read it on the internet. I should do it.
Everybody, it's so crazy. How can this has to be the end of the world, right? It feels like this is the end of the world.
Everyone thinks that. See, here's the problem you have, John. It's not going to end. It's going to change. China's hurrying to make the last of our toys for the Christmas season. You're going to be hurrying to make toys for them in a few years.
Dude, we need more factory jobs in the U.S. Perfect.
Oh, you're going to get them. You're going to be doing it. They're going to close the universities and open the factories. And you're going to do all the stuff they had to do.
Do you mean they're going to turn America back into the good old days when everybody had a factory job?
Oh, when the 8-year-olds worked in coal mines?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's hacking with black lung disease because it was the good old days.
There were no regulations back then, and everybody was happy.
Nobody talks about what unemployment was during slavery. That's a number you can't find. I looked it up. I'm like, where is it? I mean, all these people were willing to go to the Civil War and go fight, but I go, were they leaving jobs? What were they doing?
Well,
who was doing all the work?
That's like Head and Shoulders manufacturing fucking a reason for you to use their shampoo for dandruff. I mean, no one really kept track of people being unemployed back in the day because people worked when they could work, and if they didn't work, they didn't work.
We had to. We didn't have a series of safety nets. We had to either starve
or you had an extended family. Or you had relatives that you would be able to sponge off of, or whatever. But it is one of those things where the unemployment records go back only as far as they decided. I think everyone needs to start working. I mean, that
was back when like 65% of the U.S. lived on a farm, and they died. If they didn't die by the time they were 60, they had their kids take care of them until they died.
Well, out west and farm areas, basically you worked, they didn't pay you a lot to work on a farm. You basically worked your way up through the system in it, but you got basically food and board. That was what you were getting. You weren't getting like $1,000 a month. No, they basically charged you for room and rent, and they said you'll eat, you'll be and you'll work hard. And if you don't work hard, we'll fire you and you'll wander down the street.
And then you become a hobo, and then you play a harmonica under the bridge. Like there's a fallback plan.
Then they said, we got to find out how many hobos we got. We got a high number of hobos. It was originally called the hobo rate.
Yeah, they changed it to unemployment.
Somebody keeps stealing our pies off the windowsill. This is becoming a big problem.
Well, I'll tell you, down at the Mercantile, there's tons of work shirts, but we're out of bandanas.
Bandanas and sticks.
Yeah. Sticks sold separately. What is this? Fucking Dead Death and Beyond?
That's genius.
We have what we call a hobo economy in America, and it's working just fine.
Oh, but the crime story in Hawaii, did you see the little girl that tried to run her boyfriend over?
Oh, didn't try. Ran him over.
Yeah, ran him over.
Yeah, I thought it was bingo at first, but then I saw she had purple hair, not blue.
But did you see that snarly face?
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate crazy love face.
Oh, yeah.
I know that face.
She looks all of about 16, though.
Yeah, they do that when you don't get enough to eat our correct food at a young age.
It's prenatal care.
Like to still go on vacation.
Was she 16? Did she have a learner's permit? Because this could all be a misunderstanding.
I think she went rental car. She went jumping into the bushes. She like ditched the car and then went jumping into the bushes. It's like that's not a good plan when you've got a car.
Well, that might work in
and a road in front of you. Just take the road. I mean, it's going to be a while. You left a car running and then you went and ran into the bushes.
Yeah, well, she did, but she ran in the bushes. But in Alaska, you could hide out there because he knows how to live off the land. But in Hawaii, what are you? Oh, we're not scared of parrots. Come on out.
You can. I mean, she could live off of coffee beans and macadamia nuts for a while.
Yeah, that's just all over the place. This place is ugly with coffee beans and macadamia nuts.
It sounds like she's going to too.
The first day we were here, my brother and sister-in-law Amy, they've been coming out here for like 10 years and staying in different places and staying for an extended amount of time. So they really get to know some of the cool beaches and off the beaten path type stuff. And they took us to a spot north of Kona, and basically we had to trudge across about 1.25 miles of a loose path, but basically over lava. And when I read that story about the girl who like jumped out of the car after running over her boyfriend from Alaska and then opting to like go through, like, she didn't think through a lot of things, But like 5 minutes in, you'd be, this is the stupidest idea ever. Go back to the car. Go back to the car. I mean, we trudged across, and then once you're to the beach, there's nothing at the beach but another 1.25 miles back after you've spent time at the beach. This is not an easy place to get around when there's not a road or a vehicle under you.
Wow. Greg, they say it's really tough to get away with murder when you're on an island. You know, there's no running away.
That was where Dog the Bounty Hunter just had to wait. They're on amphetamines running in a circle. All you had to do was take a net and drop it over them.
Yeah. I lived in Kodiak when I was younger, and I remember when I lived there, somebody robbed the bank in Kodiak, which is a very small island in Alaska. And I think it took like 2 hours to catch the person who robbed the bank, only because they didn't start looking for like 1 hour and 45 minutes. It's like, where are they going to go?
And where are you going to spend the money?
Yeah, exactly.
They just went to the post office and stood in line and waited till someone brought it up.
Yep.
They already knew who did it.
Well, that's crazy because somebody we knew lived on an island. I don't think it was Kodiak, but it was a smaller one. But there was an actual, and it was a fact. She verified it. It was if the barge was in town and you stole a car, it was a felony. But if the barge was out of town, it was a misdemeanor. But you couldn't leave.
Yeah. It was just a momentary lapse of reason if the barge was not in town, because there's no way to escape.
But I was laughing because I go, what are you going to do? Drive around and go, oh, wow, my kid's an honor roll student, too. Oh, wait a minute. Everybody knows everybody. How are you going to steal a car, drive around?
The baby in the back of your car looks exactly like my baby.
I just love the idea of the confrontation. That's like, hey, that's my truck. Like, nah, I'm pretty sure this is my truck. Like, I don't know.
Does your truck start with a screwdriver? Mine does. Oh, must be wrong. Sorry, man. I guess it can't be.
You got Christmas coming up. Do you guys have any kind of a Christmas tradition that you guys always do?
I usually get drunk.
Wow, we have a lot in common.
Yeah, I actually in my adult life for the first time found out that eggnog is supposed to have booze in it, and I've been drinking a lot of boozy eggnog this week.
Are you doing the Pennsylvania Dutch?
Well, I got a bottle of Evan Williams eggnog. Yeah. Which
Evan Williams eggnog?
Yeah, it's
pre-liquor?
Yep, it's pre-liquored, and it was $8, so I bought it, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna keep drinking that. And then a friend of Stephanie's just gave us like a mason jar full of homemade eggnog that was even better. So my mind has been blown by my whole life. I was like, I don't like eggnog. This shit's gross. And now I realize I just was drinking the Shirley Temple eggnog.
Oh yeah, you need to booze it up.
We use rum in ours,
or brandy.
Apparently, you can use anything in it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not tequila, but I give it a shot.
We get it without the eggs.
What?
Huh?
We get it without the eggs.
What do they use instead of the eggs? It's just milk.
Straight up uncut nog, dude.
Yeah. It's a family tradition. Yeah.
Becker, you got any tradition you guys do every year?
Not pretty much. We always do a thing where we go down the street. We'll dress up and then we go down the street dragging our sleds with all the presents in it.
Yeah. Nice.
And then we just, we give them all the needy kids so they don't take them off our porch. This year we might rig up the presents with shotgun shells.
I'm telling you, man, that guy's smart. As long as he stays out of jail, he's smart.
Yeah, that was smart. Yep. All right. Any movies you watch? Do you watch a movie or anything? We watch It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. You know that. I cry at that one all the time. That's obviously, that one's being played less and less, by the way. And I think we talked about this in the past. I don't know why, and it might be that the licensing
I think we talked about this last year. I think.
John.
Matt Becker?
I hear you, John.
Sorry, I'm on the road now because I have an appointment with a Becky Becker.
Oh, don't be late.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now my mobile recording studio is mobilized.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm sure we talked about this last year.
Yep.
we've got some time to watch some movies.
Die Hard. Everybody should watch Die Hard.
Yes, 30th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
I'm seeing it at Beartooth this weekend.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
That'd be good. All right. Well, let's just sign off and let's get out of here. John, you can get to your appointment on time and no one gets in trouble.
Yep. Right. You listened to another episode of Near the Wild. I'm Matt Becker with a fixed water heater.
I'm John Norris, wishing you happy holidays, all you heathens who take Christ out of Christmas.
And this is Ggreg Chaille reporting from Kona-Kailua, Hawaii,
Makalakaka.
where I'm trying to do very little of anything. But I'll tell you what, the tease for next week, it's called a cream snail.
Ooh.
You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Matt Becker, John Norris, and Ggreg Chaille. Recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Matt Becker's backyard bus. Produced and engineered in Bisbee, Arizona by Chaille.
Oh boy, it's called a cream snail.
That's actually my stripper name, Greg. They call me the cream snail.
Nobody wants to follow the cream snail.
No one but the janitor.